fẹ́ sọ mí ní rere. Wọ́n fẹ́ sọ mí ní rere. Ṣùgbọ́n èmi ò ní jẹ́ k'economy kí mi o. Economy no go give me a attack. Economy no go give me a blood pressure. Something they work for Nigeria anymore. Latino day after they watch football. I saw where no checking jack for more. Ọ̀dọ̀ mi ni kún wá ti bá yó. I'm so bad out of my mind, I'm losing it. Like Safili Kokos, I'm losing it. Boredom is killing me. Killing me. Yeah. Boredom is killing me. Boredom is killing me. Pour me only water, make I find my square root. Sinon, qu'on soit mis économie, je fais ça. On fait ça. Qu'on sait qu'on soit économie, je fais ça. On fait ça. Tu vois, et puis, on dit qu'économie, economy no go give me a attack. Economy no go give me a blood pressure. Economy bad, tomato na good, my people they worry yo. Ain't to tire, wala enemy. Abalajo, the petrol fi gbe wolori. Body many people today, ejo ateku. They promise and fail, all these not charity. Promise and fail, so charity. If I see your life, political masquerade. If I see your life, political masquerade. Boredom is killing me. Boredom is killing me.
You are still tuned in to the Daybreak Show on Rock City 101.9 FM. Forum has been uproar over Tinubu'S new tax reform bills issues at stake, and we've been discussing with Mr. Ish and Chief Odebo, a chartered accountant, FCA, FNIM. And now we'll open the phone lines for you to be a part of the program. The number to call 08107860000, or you send us a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp number 09039273532. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, once more, FEMI OSINUGA.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Darian. Good morning to
morning,
the
sir.
two people in the studio that I was getting the people. Spoken so well, using what I would call their input professional to discuss this thing extensively. Thank God this morning, FEMI, you got the same thing during quick statement this morning. Thank God I did not vote, make a negative voting. This is what we call scientific expert opinion. Two of them are spoken so extensively well. You see, you have just enumerated 4 important bills now that were sent to National Assembly that is causing uproar. Which one will do among the 4 will do one, Mr. President, to withdraw? When the President Prime Minister of England came on board, he said, I want my government to be unpopular. If I'm wrong, let the 2 men, they know what I do. I'm a prime minister. Let them correct me. I want my government to be unpopular. When he came on board, I think he stopped this what I call winter allowance for the pensioners. He started making this policy of start setting out there. Why is it that any time government brings policy, myself, including myself, we be attacking that policy? Why we have not even started? I want you to answer. I want you to elucidate on that topic. Question
All
about
right.
which among the 4 will you want Mr. President to withdraw? Good morning. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you. 08107860000. That is the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Femi.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Dare. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Happy to listen to you. And this very popular man in the studio, sorry, I don't know your name, but I like your voice. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Nkom, I'm calling on my way to Ibadan. I've listened to you, sir, and as you rightly said, it looks very flowery. Everything in Nigeria is flowery, except in the implementation. Everything, if we have Dangote refinery, the price of petroleum product will come down. the detail is that it's not coming down. So I'm afraid about this type of flowery thing we are talking about. When the implementation comes, that is when we start seeing all sorts of things inside it. And I am worried about what is going on, in the sense that you have an economic team appointed by Mr. President. And the economic team, you have people like Dr. Biodun, governor of you have Dangote and all that. Those people have told him, hold on, withdraw this bill. If the vice president, who is the head of the economic team, tells the president to withhold it, so no matter how beautiful the thing is, I think the president should be level-headed enough to withdraw it. He didn't say so, throw it away. Withdraw it first. There are a lot of sensitivities. I'm happy you talked about alcohol, sir. Alcohol, oh, yeah, after don't drink alcohol, who told you? If you just say alcohol is about 5%, where did we get that statistics from? We always jump into the hole because of that. It doesn't favor for Northerners. What are you talking about? Is Dr. Biodun a Northerner? That is it. I think for what you have said is flowery, but I know there is also some bitter pills inside, which we may not know yet. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. 08107860000. You can also drop your comment on our social media pages. Our Facebook fan page is Rock City 101.9 FM. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Samuel Savines from Alagbado. You see, why we are running a non-profit economy, we want to increase tax. Why do you want us to gain that tax? How many people can pay tax in Nigeria today? So these are the big questions we need to ask them. And they don't have a sense of transparency and accountability sufficiently. So as a result of that, we appeal to them, all those who benefit from the student loan, to be published. Their name should be published so that you can know them. So what is most important on this particular new tax reform is that the non-profitability of our national economy has made it unimplementable and unfruitful to the state. Take for instance, we are making 5 trillion naira every year as a tax generated by both custom and Inland Revenue Commission. So all this money, all this amount of money is supposed to be produced into currency used by government. We are not spending our taxpayer money. We are not spending our trade fund. 40% of our fixed capital economy, 70% have been forfeited to the valuation. That is why I'm crying and crying. How can we survive this kind of non-profitable economy? God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. 08107860000. Hello, good morning. Can you speak up, please? We can barely hear you.
The beauty of it of democracy is that even if the executives are making their own law, and other people are also contributing, and subnationals also have their own role to play. Flowery or no flowery, tax law, the tax reform law, has some obnoxious clauses there that cannot be allowed to see the light of it. I don't say, talking about that the Northerners don't pay alcoholic. They are the most people that smoke. They smoke the most. And the price of what they smoke is already embedded as tax from the consuming the consuming state. So that is apart. Then coming to communication, you look at the communication as I'm talking to you. The price I'm paying for communication might be triple, if not, it might be double, if not triple, when they pass that law. We are talking about the cost of living that is already outrageous. Then you are coming up with another law. Then you come in with a 15% VAT. It's not done. Let us replace ourselves and consider the masses first. Removal of fuel subsidy. The price of petroleum products today is telling on people, floating on the naira, telling on people. We heard that exporters are also crying now because the cost of production of whatever they want to export is very atrocious.
You need to wrap up now.
And the government will not be sensitive, to look at some certain things that people are suffering, people are passing through. And not
all right, thank you. Over to you. Let's start with you, Mr. Ishak, with your response to some of the questions we've had.
Okay, thank you very much. All the callers, excuse me, their concerns are actually very similar. I will take it from the last caller. He's concerned about increasing VAT, and I totally agree with him. Even though they said it's going to, take effect from next year and subsequent years up to year, 2030. There's something I said in the course of our conversation. I would not like us to throw the baby with the bathwater. There are certain aspects of these bills that are very good. For instance, there's an aspect that says that if you run a company, that your income is less than 50 million and below, you will not pay any tax.
Okay.
So if you run, and Chief Adeba took a lot of time talking about cottage industries, small businesses. So they will benefit from that kind of provision. That is number one. Number two, it is a proposal. And this goes to also answer the first caller. It remains a proposal. I will not say any one of the bills should be withdrawn, but I will say that there has to be real constructive engagement, which will take care of the concerns of the number 2 person this morning,
right,
in terms of increasing VAT. At the point of engagement, we can tell them, you want to kill us? Let VAT remain 7.5 the way it is. It is still possible.
Right.
At that point, there can be pressure from individuals, from bodies like Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Chambers of Commerce and Industry. We can all rise up and say no, VAT is not going to increase because there is problem with import duty. We are still struggling with that one. There is this one, there is that one, and so on and so forth. But what I see in this thing, where I like Dr. Nkom, but I respectfully disagree with his view this morning.
Okay.
That it is flowery. Yes, it is. But like I said, there are certain parts of these bills that are very good.
Right.
Now, this is part of what I call nation building. Because in nation building, you keep reviewing your existing system, you keep trying to improve how things are going to be, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So if we say, go and withdraw it, then what are we going to do with it? That may be the end of even the whole thing. We know how Nigeria is. But let us have constructive engagement with this. That's on the part of the citizenry.
Right.
Permit me to talk about on the part of government. If you are taking something, if you are taking bread from a child, please give that child biscuits.
Don't leave him totally.
Exactly, don't. So for things like this, the economy is very harsh at the moment. And that's the reason why if you just mention tax, people are already on the edge. So there are certain things government should just allow, give to people, cushion the effect of the current, the hardship at the moment. That is number one. Number two, the president and the entire, the government, the people running the government also have to demonstrate sincerity.
Right.
If you are pushing this, because this bill, like I said, is revolutionary. And it is very good. And sometimes we need to take some bold steps, Now, if you are doing that, you also need to show very high level of sincerity.
Right.
Don't spend money anyhow. Don't, embark on things that are, there are people who look at you, the optics. You know, be careful about the optics whenever you want to do anything. So don't be extravagant. Come out and tell us that you are reducing the number of convoy vehicles. I think it's been done from ministers and some other things. Come out and say, on our part as government, this is what we are doing.
A sacrifice.
A sacrifice also. So I think Nigerians are not difficult to govern. But the first thing they want to see, in audit we call it tone at the top. Tone at the top.
Right.
The tone you set at the top permeates the entire organization or government or anything. So if as Oga you have demonstrated that, you know, it will be very easy when you come up with these policies and programs. People will definitely buy into it. In fact, you will see the Yaloja saying, you know, they are the ones that will start, you know, agitating and supporting you. Right. So that's what I see about it.
Yes, in the same line. See, the 4 people that have talked, they are so skeptical about implementation. There's no doubt that we have good policies. The first person asked us whether there's anyone to be withdrawn. To me, none of the bills should be withdrawn. But rather than that, as my colleague has said, we should have what we call good quality engagement to ensure that let us see the bill as bone in itself so that we can put more flesh into it during the quality engagement. Now, my brother, Dr. Income, also agrees with us that there are good policies in this country, but it's the implementation. He referred to that petrol, the petrol. We are saying that when Dangote refinery comes up, everything will be solved. Well, as I've said, that is the policy objective. And I've also been saying that there are differences between policy objectives and policy intentions. Intentions may be wrongly implemented, depends on whoever is implementing it, but the objectives are still the same. To me, the only problem we have in the refining industry is that we are not refining our petrol, our PMS, and other things in the country. That is the bane of the problem. It is not because of the removal of subsidy. If we have sufficient domestic refining of petrol in this country, the story will be different. So withdrawing the bills, like my friend or my brother and my brother Dr. Income has said, I will disagree with him. Rather than that, like my professional colleague has just said, let us look at these bills and then we have what we call quality engagement to streamline whatever needs to be streamlined. Then my brother again, Mustafa, talked about increasing tax. Like my colleague has said, the moment you hear the word tax in this country, people will agitate because the connotation or the way they perceive tax in this country is that you are increasing it, you are causing pain, you are asking us to pay more, you are asking us to do this. Why? Because we do not see in reality what this tax that is being collected are being used for. That is the main thing. So I will suggest that our leaders should be more transparent, should be more accountable, should show more integrity, and then they should be judicious and prudent in the use of these taxes that we're talking about. And then they should give us good quality leadership with sincerity of purpose. I believe all these policy measures that are being introduced or being put into act are capable of moving this nation forward. They are capable of crashing prices. They are capable of giving us good benefits in this country. That's the way I see all these policies. But the problem is that of implementation and the leadership. But to me, what the president is doing now, I believe is showing good leadership. He has the courage to put all these things forward, but the only thing that he has to do is to be more, use Operation Carrot approach.
Okay, carrot and stick.
Carrot and stick approach.
Yeah.
And then they implement those people that are implementing the bill also, or these policies. I think they should be more civil in their approach.
What about bringing the cost of governance down?
Yes, he has said it.
Okay.
Bring the cost of governance down. It's not by way of saying it alone.
Okay.
Recently, the president has issued a directive to various government officials in respect of number of vehicles that they should use, and so on and so forth. They should do more in that aspect. Then they should be able to make some sacrifices, more sacrifices, so that people can see it and know that at least these people too are now coming down to the basics. The truth, the bitter truth in this country is that there is pain in the people. Let us be frank, and that is why most people are very bitter or embittered with all these policies.
All right, we'll move to the messages now. The first message I have here reads, "Good morning from Chief Bolan Okpaleye. Says, thank you, Rock City, for good and comprehensive analysis by our panelists. Any policy, program, proposed law and decision requires public enlightenment by the government's information and communication handlers. This is to avoid misrepresentation, misinterpretation, and misinformation. From what we have heard today, and information I heard from public discussions by Taiwo Oyedele, the Chairman, Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms, this law is good and well-intentioned. It is going to reduce the burden of taxation on the poor, petty traders, and minimum wage earners. It has been researched that the wealthy either do not pay tax or underpay. The reform is going to strengthen tax collection instead of always channeling their energies on attack on genuine concerns, criticism, and suggestions. They should educate, enlighten, and enrich the public on important government policies. I advise the National Assembly to give sufficient time for public discussions. They are not to rush this sensitive bill to please the presidency. It is time they redeem their rubber stamp status." Sent that one. The next one is from Pastor Shola Makide Owu Kingdom. Says, "I greet Mr. Ishak and Chief Odebo. Great analysis as always. My question is, how are we sure that the monies derivable from this taxation will be deployed judiciously amidst unending corruption in our country? Thank you, and God bless Nigeria." Those are the messages we have for now.
Okay, so thank you very much for the messages. Chief Odebo just said something about, the reason why issue of taxation will always be contentious in our land, and it's about what do we do with the money. Okay, VAT, personal income tax, this one or that. What do we do at the end of the day? And that is where governance comes in. Good governance. Do you remember the regime of Babatunde Fashola in Lagos?
Mm-hmm.
At a point, because of the way he was constructing roads, infrastructure, everything, at the time Nigerians were the ones coming up to say, we want to pay tax. Where are we going to pay? Tell us the account number, we'll pay it, we'll put it there. That is how generous and how sensible Nigerians are. And we can only continue to appeal to the people in government that if people see the impact of these things, even the cost of administering tax will greatly be reduced, because people will be willing to pay voluntarily. You won't need to chase people up and down. But for as long as people collect tax, government collect tax, people can't. I think there was a conversation recently about IGR, where I took a very different position. And I said, IGR is not a yardstick. It's not a measure of good governance. that, oh, our IGR has increased, is now. No. At the level of government, they can celebrate it. But for us as citizens, the yardstick for good governance remains quality of life. So if government is celebrating high IGR, if it is translating to good governance, good roads, there is power. IGR is working for everybody. We can all celebrate. It is the same thing. Anyway, tax has been made to be equal to IGR in our. So it is not enough that we collect tax from people.
Right.
We must also ensure that good governance is in place for the people to enjoy the benefit of whatever it is that we are collecting from them. I think that's the principle. Whether in America or Britain, the principle behind tax collection is that we collect from people, we spend it in a way that people will benefit.
Life will be more abundant.
Life will be more abundant.
Chief Odebo.
Well, you have said it. Democracy, like I said, uplifting the rules of law, empowerment of the people to enhance their potentials for growth and development. When you want to empower, you need money to empower people, and you are collecting money from taxes. The other side is to empower the people in terms of provision of roads, infrastructure, education, health, and so many other things that are embedded in it to ensure that what you are supposed to do for the people are being done. But unfortunately, when you look at the Constitution, the responsibilities are there, and I think it's stated in the Constitution that they are not enforceable in law. I believe that aspect should be removed in the first instance, so that people can really enforce this thing legally. Then another thing that I want to chip in again is the issue of oversight functions of the various houses of assembly and national assembly. How far are they doing it? If they are doing it effectively, I think most of these complaints will be reduced to barest minimum. To me, the welfare of the people, the well-being of the people is a major responsibility of government. And when there are various activities, spendings, do not actually seen in the well-being of the people or quality of life of the people, obviously people will complain, they will agitate. So the first caller, Opaleye, I agree with him in total that these bills we are talking about should be sufficiently discussed at the National Assembly. And if there's a need for them, they can even set up a technical committee to really look into every aspect of the bill, word for word consideration, and so many other things in the bill. The details of the bill, and to look at it thoroughly before the bills are passed. But as a professional, from my own experiences and various responsibilities that I've held, more so as a zonal treasury coordinator in Ogun State, I think the bills are very, very, very good, and they can achieve the objective for which they are intended to achieve, provided they are well implemented with sincerity of purpose. So thank you.
All right, we'll go back to the phone line 08107860000. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my dear people in the house, Dr. Isiak and Chief Odebo, the crews. I am MOK from United Towns of Ayetoro here in Yewaland. Now, I was not privileged to listen to you when you are dissecting and digesting the issue. But my concern is that is it the entire bill that is all good because it must have parts? Is it the entire bill that people are agitating against? And what are the reasons advanced, apart from the fact that the northerners or the northern elders and northern governors said that the bill is anti-North. Which aspect is anti-North? Or the entire bill is anti-North? You see, in Nigeria, we don't want, I will not say we don't want good things, but we should allow the National Assembly that is actually representing us to look at it. If there are areas in the council that was shared by the first president, it was thrown away. So when number two is saying that what number one has presented is not okay, you know what it means? Does it mean that number one and number two, they were not in order by the time the bill was being drafted and sent to the National Assembly? Automatically something is fishy. And we need to be upright in this country. If the burden that is actually on us, we should not allow it to continue. Hunger and poverty are persisting. Should we allow it to continue? Then number two, from the look of things, do you think the bill is anti-masses or anti-people? I want you people to please educate us the most. Or perhaps you might have talked about it, but I was not privileged to listen to you.
All right.
So I want more information on it. May God Almighty send down the rain. Wash out rubbish in this country. Nigeria shall be better. Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a message here from Professor Sam Utubushi. He says, my concern is about personal income tax. Pete, the humongous emolument of members of the National Assembly, irrespective of the numerous outrageous allowances factored into the emoluments, should and must be taxable if the lawmakers can be sincere and sensitive to lead by example. Our esteemed guest in the House, your comments, please.
Okay, thank you very much, the caller from Ayetoro. We have actually discussed a lot about the bills and the content. I'll take it this way, particularly in the area of personal income tax, because the bills concern different people in different ways. Today, if my salary is around 25-30 million upward, I mean per annum, or 50 million per annum, because there are people who earn such 50 million and above, I won't like this bill. Okay. I won't like it at all, because it's going to hit me hard. The bill is actually targeted at, high income earners. There's something we call effective tax when it comes to paying tax. And it's about, okay, at the end of the day, how much, what is the portion of my salary that is even going into tax? So these new bills, salary.
So they will be on band A.
They will be on band A. They are the ones. People like Mr. Dare are the ones that are talking. The big people, you know them. You understand? But for the generality of the people that are earning low, these bills have actually taken care of them in terms of it has made life, easy for them, really. And also companies that are, still trying to come up below 50 million income, you won't pay anything. So that's the reason why we're saying that there are some aspects of these bills that are very good. Let us not just look at it from one angle that, want to do, no. So that is very important for all of us. And we're talking about, somebody talked about the salaries of the National Assembly. I agree totally, my brother. I think the problem has to do with implementation. It's difficult dealing with big people in Nigeria. You saw the other time now, Nkoti Oju, Bobo, taxi driver, Uber driver, Henry.
Do you know who I am?
The difficulty in dealing with big people, because all those allowances by law should come into, tax should be administered. They should be part of the taxable income. We call it taxable income. They should come into the tax net. But do they come? Then the FIRS, they are supposed to monitor and make sure that Maybe it is only the salary that you know that you even bring it to tax. You see, that's another angle to it. And it may so happen that even if you know the salary and they want to calculate the tax, maybe the accountant in National Assembly and all that, and then the National Assembly, I'm not saying this is happening, but I'm just imagining that the accountant want to calculate tax and he brings all the allowances. And the person who is supposed to approve it and, approve the paper say, where did you see these figures? Okay, that's how it should be. That kind of a thing. And even the chairman of FIRS goes to the National Assembly, say, you are not paying the correct tax. And they tell him, we know the people that confirm you. Those kind of things have to do with implementation, not the law itself. So unless we have that courage, for the National Assembly, I agree totally that the time has come for us to actually know what they are earning and for us to know whether those humongous salaries are being subjected to tax, if we agree that it should even continue in the first place. So I agree to what the caller has said. We actually need, to bring the big people, which is the target of this bill. That is the aspect that I'm happy about this bill. There are a lot of exemptions for we the masses, but for the big people, the bill seeks to bring most of their income, their fat income, into the tax net.
Thank you.
All right.
Succinctly, he has said it all. So I want to toe the line that those bills are not anti-masses, but they will step on toes of the elite in the society, like he has said. So that is why it is being rejected
by the
elite. The other aspect is the issue of this VAT derivation of 60% that we go to where it comes from, and which some people are now agitating against, which I think is not anti-masses. The other aspect is the joint tax board, which is now to be renamed Joint Revenue Board, which people are seeing as if the federal government is going to be in control of that board, which is not so. The board is coming in to arbitrate and to do other things in respect of tax matters in this country. Where there are disputes, where there are other things to be considered, it is this joint revenue board that will look into that, which is very, very, very necessary. It is not going to be a federal government affair. It is not going to be against the issue of federalism in this country. The personal income tax that he has said, he has explained it totally. People on the lower income will not be that affected. But those people that are earning millions, billions of naira will have to pay more. And that is one of the essence of taxation. Take from people that are influential or that are financially buoyant, and then use it for the masses. So to me, in totality, the four bills that are being presented to National Assembly should be well looked into and should be subjected to thorough debates. Like I said earlier, there's a need for them to have what we call technical committee. Let them discuss it. Then in the issue of implementation, the implementation does not even is not only limited to the elite. I remember when I was in service, people will go to the person in charge of salary, please, my tax, help me reduce cut it down. But I will tell them, don't cut my own, I've worked it. That is the tax that I'm supposed to pay. And then when the returns are being made to the inland revenue, and there's a need for you to have what we call tax clearance certificates, those people will be asked to come and pay more at that particular time. Whereas I will just be issued my own tax clearance certificates. So, like, let me say, whatever you are avoiding today, you will meet it again if the system is well implemented. Thank you and God bless.
All right. We really want to appreciate you for coming today on the Daybreak Show, Chief Odebo and Mr. Ishaq Mustafa. We appreciate you that whenever we call, you're always available for us. And this is where we'll be ending it today.